This is the promised land of technology, where bold ideas scale and ambition finds momentum. For many of the world's brightest minds, this is a key center of global innovation. But for a small, growing group of pioneers, the journey began over 6,000 miles away, in a place where talent is created, development is accelerating, and global expansion is reaching its peak: Uzbekistan.
Big change. You give up all your friends and everything you know, and you leave that behind, and you start a new life in a country where everybody speaks a different language.
One of the most challenges I faced when moved to the United States is adaptation to professional culture.
I think getting a job at Amazon was one of the hardest, or the path for me.
But I never saw it in that way. I always believed, and I still believe, that girls can achieve as much as boys.
Everybody's path is different.
Now my wife of 2 kids started pushing me, hey, let's go do something.
The team plays a really big role in the startup.
At Microsoft, the environment was different. People are smart. You immediately notice that you are working with one of the best, smartest people in the tech area.
Everywhere in America is about interview here. If you want to be selected here, it's all about interview.
So if you don't get a job, you don't owe us anything.
Even if it's scary, even if it's small, just do it.
This is their story, a story of resilience, rejection, and remarkable success.
So my name is Davron Akil. I'm 35 years old, and my official position here at UWorld is senior software developer. I was born in Tashkent at the time in 1989. It was still the USSR, so it was right before the collapse. I was born in Chilanzar. After high school, I went to college in Washington, D.C. I went to the George Washington University, and I picked computer science as my major. So I work at UWorld now. It's been about 3 years that I've been here. My official title is senior software developer. I ended up moving here in 2004, and I guess it was like a permanent relocation because it was just starting a new life. It was my mom's decision, and so it wasn't really my decision. It kind of just happened. So I found myself in New York as a 15-year-old, and I went to this big giant public high school, and it was kind of involuntary. I moved to the States.
Why America? For some, it was family. For others, education. And for many, the dream of proving themselves in the toughest market on earth.
My name is Orzumand Khodiev. I'm originally from Tashkent, Uzbekistan. 28 years old. I've been living in the US for the last 11 years. I currently work at Google. My official job title is a program manager, but I do data analytics and supply chain. When I first moved to the US at the age of 17, I actually loved that a state of independence or freedom per se, right? And it came natural to me for me to be able to not survive, but actually thrive in this environment. Throughout my 4-year journey at USF, I did have 4 on-campus jobs. So when I say 4 on-campus jobs, I mean throughout the 4-year period, right? I didn't have them all in the same time, but I was actively involved into learning how to make money. And that comes the very interesting part is because when you travel from outside and you come here as an international student, you get a lot of restrictions in terms of the work abilities and things like that. So I remember showing up to my very first interview that would pay me $8 an hour. It felt like I was running for the CEO of an organization. So, right, but the other part of that is any job in the US, no matter how highly or low paid, it's pretty competitive because especially in the college setting, a lot of students want to make some money, right, the pocket money for that. So it was also part of the journey of understanding how competitive is US environment is when it comes to job searches.
Hi, my name is Jasur Shukurov. I'm from Tashkent, Uzbekistan, and currently I work at Amazon as a lead software engineer working on bringing AI into application layer for Fire OS, like Kindle, Fire tablets, Fire TVs, and currently I'm at 25. I applied 15 universities in the United States. I didn't even care about other countries. Ever since I was a kid, I was always wanted to go to United States, specifically to Silicon Valley, which I did. And I started applying 15 universities. I got accepted all of them. There was some big school names like Ivy League. One of them is Columbia University. I was accepted, but I come from the middle-class family in Uzbekistan. You know how it is. My family is not rich, so they're not able to pay $40,000 a year for my school. It's like it's a crazy amount of money.
I'm Asror Arabjanov. I'm a 32-year-old startup founder from Uzbekistan. In addition to that, I'm also a co-founder of Silkroad Innovation Hub, which is a hub and a platform for founders from Central Eurasia. We decided to come to Stanford, and actually it was our first choice because we wanted the warm weather, we wanted the ocean, we wanted to see actually the Stanford because it's the heart of technology, it's the heart of the Silicon Valley, it's where everything began. And I kind of saw that as an opportunity to explore who else I can be in addition to what I am today, to all the things which I've done, what else I can do, what other challenges exist in the world. And understanding that all the innovations of the last 30, 40 years came out of this place, the choice was clear.
Hi, my name is Darkhonbek Mamataliev. I'm 28 years old. Originally, I was born in Angren, Uzbekistan, and currently I work at TikTok in San Jose, California. I also founded a company, 42mentor.com, that helps engineers get a job in big tech companies. So I won a work authorization, the green card, in 2016, and I visited America first time in summer of 2017, just visited, and then summer of 2018 I worked a little bit, like ordinary job. I think I was a sales associate at Sprint Mobile. It's a mobile company. I was basically like selling phones and selling plans. That's like ordinary job. And that's like, okay, I will only come back to America if I get like a good job, an engineering job. That's when I realized that like eventually I got a job and I moved to America.
My name is Sukhrob. I'm from Tashkent, 29 years old. I work for Microsoft. When I came to US, obviously a lot of Uzbeks, people come from Uzbekistan, they land in New York. We went out when we see the whole city, the American dream, the Times Square, and everything. But once we left New York, I went to Wisconsin because I had a contract to work there for 4 months. That's when I realized real America is not New York or Los Angeles or the other big cities. They're like big part of US is different. I worked in Wisconsin for 2 months, and I had a friend in San Francisco who now works for Google. His name is Saidakbar, and he told me about San Francisco. I actually did not about San Francisco. I had no idea about San Francisco. And I came to San Francisco, and I started working as a dishwasher at the Mexican restaurant in Pier 39. A lot of local Uzbeks in California, they know about that area. So I started as a dishwasher, and when I was working, I started looking and I started seeing how beautiful and how advanced California and San Francisco and the Bay Area is. Once I got rejected, companies like Yelp, I applied to Twitch, which is a streaming platform. A lot of companies.
The American dream shines brightly from afar, but reality often begins with rejection, struggle, and starting over.
I think getting a job at Amazon was one of the hardest jobs or the path for me to get it because of the competitiveness, right? Because everyone wants to work at Amazon, even right now. So I've been applying for 3 years at that time in a row. And I also mentioned this, I have submitted around 117 applications over the 3-year period, and I would mostly get rejections. I made it to the final rounds around 3 times throughout this 3-year period. So when I say made it to the final rounds, is basically if you make it to the final rounds, that means you have passed 5 rounds prior to that, right? So it's round 1, then round 2, 3, 4, 4, and 5. But the first 2 times I was rejected. Imagine investing so much of your time and energy in believing that you will get an offer, but then getting turned down, right? But those, I think, step backs or challenges really helped me to understand that probably it's not me who's at fault, that I have to be more competitive to get where I want, right? Because there are a lot of smart and wise people around there, right? And I want to be one of them. And for me, in order to be able to secure those opportunities, I have to work on myself, whether it's my soft skills or technical skills. And that opportunity came in 2020. It's a funny story because it was amid of pandemic. People were losing jobs here, especially in the US. And the opportunity came in that where Amazon actually was hiring a lot, because of the increased demand for supply chain, right? So people couldn't leave their houses, so they ordered everything online. So it actually benefited the business a lot at that time. So I saw an opportunity for me to come in there, and yeah, so this is how it happened. I believe, I don't know if it's a miracle or destiny or the hard work, but for me, it was putting the check mark into one of the dreams that I have had.
My name is Bekhzod Tairov. I'm 31 years old. I'm from Tashkent originally. Right now I work as a senior software engineer at Deloitte. So at that moment, one of the best IT companies was EPAM Systems. And yeah, I started preparing for the interview. Soon I realized when I wanted to join EPAM Systems, like that they are different, the scale is different, the products they are working is different. And I also got another offer from Deloitte for a senior software engineer position. The interview for Deloitte was not that different from other big tech companies. We had just first call with recruiter, then had online assessment, the coding assessment, and then after passing the coding assessment I had 2 calls. First call was technical call where I had 2 lead code style questions. The second part of that interview was actually the unexpected part because the interviewer asked the fundamental questions about Java. So yeah, I think I could answer his questions pretty well because as you can see result, right? And then I had second call, which was behavioral interview. For these interviews, the most important thing is how you speak the language and how you are prepared with your cases. So was it challenging for me to start working at Deloitte? Did I have enough skills and knowledge? I would say half and half, like 50-50. Why? Because I told you that I worked back at EPAM. It was our client was a global human resource company. So yeah, I had an experience working with big projects, international projects. I knew how the teams work. I knew how to implement like modernization for the legacy code, how to work with cloud, how to deploy the applications, how to work with agile methodologies and everything else. But the challenging part was that the domain was different. It wasn't that I didn't have enough hard skills, it was about the domain knowledge that I mentioned before. So right now, what I'm doing most of my time is not coding. It is mostly communicating to other teams, gathering the requirements, writing the documentation, and doing my own research, trying to understand the financial domain, because right now I'm working in a financial domain.
At the beginning, like you will get the imposter syndrome. It's like you feel like, oh, do I deserve this? It's like it feels surreal. It's like I wake up, go to work every day. I was like, is that really happening? Like, am I working here? It's like, and you work with so many smart people, and you're like, yeah, you question yourself, am I good enough? But then I changed my mindset. Instead of like saying, am I good enough? I was like, all right, I'm a student here too, so I'm here to study. So I started learning from my teammates. At the beginning, it was a little bit difficult to adapt, because now you were a student, and now you're working full-time, so you have to they're paying you, so you have to do a good job. So there's a responsibility, you know what I mean? It's and I was thinking those people are so smart. But then over time, I realized that the only difference between me and them is they're as smart as you are. The only difference is the experience-wise. So they have more experience, and that's the only difference. So it took me a little bit of time to understand that, but over time, I got adjusted.
For Uzbeks, education was the bridge to opportunity.
Hi, my name is Shakhlo Khodjaeva. I'm originally from Uzbekistan. I am 32 years old. Actually, today's my birthday, so fun fact. But I moved to the United States around 10 years ago, and I've been employed in Amazon for about 3.5 years. So currently, I'm a senior business intelligence engineer. So IT was very much my choice to go into. And I think it all started from being in a physics and mathematics school. I've been always pretty good in math, and then I think the IT field was a very obvious choice for me.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Saidakbar Pardaev. I am originally from Samarkand, Uzbekistan, and I currently work at Google as a data analyst. And I am 32 years old, and I studied in Westminster International University in Tashkent. I did my bachelor's degree in economics with finance. Then I studied my master's degree in business analytics in California State University, East Bay in here. And after that, I worked in Uber for 3 years as a data analyst in engineering department. And now I'm working at Google, and have been working at Google for 3 years now.
My name is Dilorom Abdullah. I am from Uzbekistan. I was born in the city of Norota in the Navy region. Currently, I live in the USA in Pennsylvania, and I work at Luminalta as a senior Databricks architect. I work remotely. My first coding language was Ruby. I learned the Ruby on Rails framework, and then I learned JavaScript as well. The bootcamp, the coding bootcamp I did prepared me to be a full stack developer, so I learned both back end and front end. And later on, I learned SQL, but coming out of bootcamp, I was certified full stack developer with Ruby and JavaScript skills.
So I had to pick university which gave me the most scholarships. So I went to Adelphi University in New York. It's a great school. It's not as big as the other big names like Columbia, Brown, or Cornell universities. But still, it's like a decent school. But they gave me really good scholarships, and that was one of the reasons why I chose it. Oh, also, there's a common misconception. It's like people want to hear oh, I love the news articles when somebody writes this guy got accepted to 10 universities, he's so smart. No, that's not true. You can apply to 100 universities and you can get accepted to 100 universities. It's not an indicator. It's what it matters is if you got accepted to top school and if you got the scholarship. So that's what it matters. So you can apply as many universities, it's not a problem. You can get accepted to 100, but it's in my case, I was accepted to 15 universities, but it doesn't mean anything. It's because the top schools like Columbia, they didn't give me enough money. So I chose the one which gave me the most money.
So I did a self-paced coding bootcamp, and I finished it in 7 months. And after 7 months, I started looking for jobs. And I found my first job after 3 months of finishing the bootcamp. The process wasn't easy because of the lack of my prior experience in tech, but I put all my effort and it did show up.
So my name is Nilufar Rajiva. I was born in Samarkand in 1995, but grew up in Karmana, a small town in Navy region. Growing up, I always heard people saying that she is just a girl, and she would eventually get married and become a housewife, taking care of children or taking care of family members. But I never saw it in that way. And in 2021, I started, I applied to about 10 business schools, including Cornell, Chicago Booth, Duke University, and other really top schools. And I got accepted to all of them with really generous scholarships, with almost full scholarships. And in 2023, I moved to New York.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Iskandar. I work on Instagram. I'm from Uzbekistan. By the end of my PhD, I was looking for some internship in industry and for some summer internship. Because I had one summer and I talked to my advisor. He was pretty okay with that. I was looking for the job where I can apply my skills in terms of coding and machine learning. And apparently I found that in JP Morgan. It's a bank where they were looking for quantitative research analysts. And that's just a summer from June to September. I got accepted to that. And usually from after internship, they give you a full-time offer or they reject you. So I got a full-time offer with a promise of like you have 1 year to complete your studies and then come back for full-time.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Islambek. I'm 27 years old. I'm from Uzbekistan. I used to work at Bank of America. Right now I'm running my startup, our division, in AI. So after graduating from San Francisco State University, it was 2022, spring semester, there is a LinkedIn. LinkedIn is really popular here in America, and when you are looking for a job or you did some career changes, you need to update your profile and make your status open to hiring or open to job. And I just changed my status to open the job, and in the first week I started to having the interview requests, and it was from the Google, from Amazon, from TikTok. And I was shocked because as a new grad, I didn't have the experience. So I get the interviews and I failed all of the interviews because I didn't have the experience. The interview process here is really tough. You need to be really smart, you need to be really communicative, you need to show you soft skills, technical skills, and communication skills. At that time, at the first months of the graduation, I didn't know that, and I failed all of them.
Education provides the theory, but the real test begins in practice.
So I had pretty extensive resume focus on United Nations. And then I decided to find different jobs, positions of internship in the United Nations in New York. And that's how I moved there. I moved to New York. I lived an amazing, I started an amazing summer life in New York City, working in such a huge organization. You start feeling important as well at that time. And then I remember I was sitting, I think, on the 19th floor, and you have an amazing view to the city and to the other side of the Queens. So it was very, very impactful for me working there. In terms of project, it was pretty interesting as well. I've learned a lot from the people that were there, and I think the highlight for me was obviously going into the General Assembly. So during the General Assembly, I met a lot of presidents. I met our president for the first time. That was his first visit to United Nations.
And from that first foothold came the first crucial steps, the first real job, the first project, the first time they realized their skills had value in a global market.
When I was studying at university, I was working a number of jobs to make a living, to make a career. I was planning. I think I wrongly concentrated on, I mistakenly concentrated on becoming a lawyer, which looking back, I think I never actually wanted to become a lawyer, but it was really important for me to learn all those things and to practice law in Uzbekistan and learn and figure out all those things.
Yeah, my name is Murzakhat. I'm 26 years old. I was born in Bukhara, and I came to United States almost 4 years ago to study my master's. And currently I'm living in California, Mountain View, and working at PayPal. 2019, in summer, I came to the work and travel program. I worked here, and at the same time, I traveled. So I worked as a fast food crew in McDonald's.
My name is Otabek Kasimov. I'm from Tashkent. I'm 45 years old. And today I'm in California working for Google as a senior software engineer, as a part of product and devices organization. Started at that time, it was the 2005, something like that, or even earlier. And then by some chance, hope, or whatever, I moved to the USA by working visa. It was H-1B, and that was working for fintech in New York. But something changed in the life, and I needed to be moved. And when I moved to the Google.
I was applying for jobs through LinkedIn and different job boards, but none of them were replying to my emails. And after some searching and some reading, I found out that my resume was not good enough. I didn't have enough skills. I didn't have keywords, specific job keywords. And then I updated my resume. I updated my LinkedIn profile by adding specific keywords, skills. And after a short time, recruiters started reaching out to me.
In a university, I graduated in 2019, and during my study at INA, after Codecraft, I actually worked for another company, a startup called Super Dispatch. It's one of the very successful startups founded by Uzbek founders, but the company is here in US. They're based in Kansas City. They do logistics software. Very successful, very great company. So yeah, I worked for them for 2 years. And after that, so in 2019, so I decided like, okay, I had two options to go to America or to go to study, continue my master's study in Korea, because I also got like master's scholarship in a university in Korea. And I started applying for jobs in America. Back then it was difficult because I didn't know what the process looks like, how should you apply, how should you interview. So I was like randomly just applying and applying a lot, and I got a lot of rejections.
After that, I got my first interview. So this is actually after 500 different applications that were rejected. I submitted and they got rejected. This was the first time I was being interviewed by a person. I was not getting like a rejection email. I was getting interviewed. But I failed this interview because I was not prepared for the interview. Now, first, I needed to fix my resume, LinkedIn profile. Now, I needed to work on my interview skills. So that was also a separate learning route because no one teaches these skills at university, like how to prepare for an interview, how to get a job.
There's a small company in Manhattan. That's where I landed my job title was front-end developer. So I joined this company, and this company was building different websites for businesses. And so that was my first official IT job, not counting my IT internships when I was still in college, but after college it was front-end developer gig at this New York firm. When we were fresh out of college, trying to get a job with my friend Luca, who's a mechanical engineer, we're just working temporary jobs and we're trying to get real jobs in our spheres. We had a lot of free time. We were applying for jobs, and so we decided to build this platform. So we built this website. We just created this platform. We called it Dorm Fair because everybody's living in dorms, and so it was a fun little project. And we launched it. We had like about 300 users, and it was a fun project. We actually used that project even though it was like $0 budget, just our own project, no marketing budget, no development budget. It's still something we created and we were using it, and then some people started to use it, and it was like a very fun. The reason we got our first jobs in IT was because we were able to talk about this project. But even though I didn't have a job, I was doing something, I was building something. What killed that idea, the business, or the idea of Dorm Fair was right as we launched, you know what came out? Facebook Marketplace. Like Facebook, they had groups, so everybody just started posting there. So we're like, okay, it's done. So that just killed it. But at least the idea was, the story remained.
And suddenly I have an interview request from Uber. It's the big company for the driver company, ride-sharing company. And it was a contractor job for 5 months. Contractor jobs here, for example, if you go to the full-time job, it's gonna be like a 5-6 rounds of interview. But for contractors, it might be like a 3 or 4 rounds of interview because it's like a short term and it's a contractor. That's why it's a little bit easier. And as a new grad, I was able to develop some of my skills and pass the interview. And I started working at the Uber Eats team, where I was doing the iOS development. I was basically doing the Uber application in Uber Eats team, and it was really exciting for the new grad. After that, because it was like a short-term contract, I was starting looking for other jobs, and I had some interview requests from Bank of America. It was around September, and here interview process is a really long process. It might be from 2 months to 5-6 months. And I started contacting with HR of Bank of America in October, and I received my first interview at the end of the November, I guess. And then November, December, and I got my offer in January. So it took me 4 months, almost 4 months or 3-4 months.
So I prepared. I also took online class actually. It's like a boot camp. I studied for almost 3 months, right till the end of my grace period. But at the end, once I completed bootcamp online, I fixed my resume, I prepared for interview, Another recruiter reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to apply for jobs, and I said yes. And one of the companies was Uber. And surprisingly, I got interviewed at Uber Engineering, and after interview, the recruiter called me back and said that I was offered the position, so I was accepted to the job. And I was really excited because it was a huge pressure. The deadline was approaching. If I couldn't find a job, I needed to go back. So it was a huge relief for me, and that's how I started working at Uber.
For some, building someone else's dream wasn't enough. The ultimate test of their skills and resilience would be to build something of their own from the ground up.
Hi, my name is Akil, 40 years old, born in Tashkent, now living in California, working on my startup, which is on digital workforce segment and called Numeo. So we are building AI agents for logistics and currently growing very fast.
From my childhood, I wanted to be a doctor, and my parents are doctors. I still have really good interest in the medicine. And I came up with the idea to make a product, to make a software with AI, which help doctors to analyze and detect diseases from medical images. So first of all, it's gonna be really cheap. Secondly, it's gonna be fast. Thirdly, so in America, we have the error rate of the doctors, which is 20%. In other countries, in third countries, or there are countries where medicine is not that strong, the error rate might be like 40 to 50%. And in that case, our startup can like save some lives. And even though if we're gonna save even one life, we will be happy. So that's why we started this kind of startup with help of AI, and we are training many images, medical images, to make our product really precise and accurate, to help in future to doctors and patients to detect diseases on time and fast with really cheap amount of money.
Hi, my name is Ulugбек Ergashev. I was born in 1991 in Tashkent. I graduated my master's in computer science in the Bootcamp University in 2019. And in 2019, I started my PhD in computer science. And now I'm graduating my PhD in computer science. In the market, there is no such a good product, TMS or ERP system within the logistic industry that shows and gives a financial visibility. And also there is no such a good product that consolidates all of the data from different platforms into one. So that's why we came up with idea data truck. So that's why the name of the company is Data. It's data oriented, financial visibility oriented. So that's our product value. And also we were one of the first companies in logistic industry who come up with its own AI. So we have own truck GPT that automates a lot of processes within logistic companies.
We have one ready product which is called the Spot Finder. So we help dispatchers to find best loads on spot market. It's our first product. The way to build AI dispatch software, like AI dispatcher. But the first thing which we saw like big pain of finding best loads on spot market. So if you look at the trucking business, so there are three like big players in the market. It's shippers who have loads, and the loads should be moved from point A to point B, and carriers who have assets, trucks, and they move everything in the country, and brokers in between. So we are focusing on carrier side who have assets, who have trucks. And carriers sell their truck, carriers sell their capacity to brokers mainly and to shippers. And brokers or shippers publish their loads on load boards. So there are two types of loads. One is dedicated lanes, which mean contracted lanes. You can have a contract with your broker for a longer time period, for example, for 6 months or for 1 year, and you deliver like every day or like every week on one route from point A to point B. it's like long-term contract. But another type of loads, like short-term, it's a one-time contract. And that one called it spot market. And we specialize on spot market, and we help carriers to faster win better loads from different sources. Our only market is US market, yeah. Because US market is huge. If you look at the trucking business, it's $850 billion market. If you look at supply chain market, it's $2 trillion market. And we are on spot market, and like there are almost 300,000 carriers as potential customers. It's a huge market.
TruckGPT automates a lot of routine tasks like load entry, CDL entry, truck, trailer entries. And so we started with these use cases. So now we're adding agentic workflows. Like for example, we have created AI updater, AI dispatcher, and we're working on AI fleet management. So that all of these agents, AI agents, are able to fully automate the processes within dispatching, updating, and fleet management. So there are two key components in agents. Agent can be assistive agent and automative agent, autonomous agent. So we're not striving and we're not trying to build autonomous agents. We're trying to build assistive agents. I believe that autonomous agents are not ready for the real life use cases. So that's why we're building assistive agents so that real dispatchers, updaters, and fleet management managers can manage our AI agents. So essentially, our AI agents are assistants to real employees within the logistic companies.
Anvar Kayumov, he reached out to me and said, hey, I got a green card. Can you help me get a job in big tech? Because he said, I want to get a job in big tech. That was 2 years ago. I said, no. I said, no, I don't have time for this. And then he messaged me again. He's like, okay, can you help me? Like, I'm going to pay you. Like, if I get a job, I'm going to give you like percentage of my salary. So I thought about it and I'm like, well, I've been thinking about it for a long time. I've been wanting to do it. And that's like, he's reaching out to me and yeah, why not? Let's try it. So I did like MVP, like with Anvar. And that was back in 2020, 2 years ago. That was 2 years ago. We started, when he reached out to me, we started. And actually that was the time when I was also interviewing. So I was switching jobs from Uber to a different company. And I was like, well, I'm preparing anyways, so might as well take Anvar with me and prepare together. So that's what I did. And so we started in July, and by January, he had an offer from Meta. He had an offer from big tech company, and that was like a super fast track. Like for me, it took years, right? Also like considering that I was already in America, already familiarized with American like work culture, etc. So I was doing from there. Anvar got an offer from Uzbekistan. So he was sitting back there in Uzbekistan, and within 5 to 6 months, he got an offer from big tech company. And yeah, so that was our first success case. And I was like, okay, well, that's great, that works. Win-win. I get paid, he got a job at one of the best companies in the world. And then the next year, which is last year, I decided, okay, so you know what, let's make it official. So I opened a company, I registered a company in California, and I said, okay, I need a co-founder. And I reached out to Ozrumand Pulatov, the engineer at Google. And I said, hey, Ozrumand, like, I know you're also interested in this. You've been also mentoring kids. I'm doing this company. Let's do it together. So we agreed, and then we both started this company last year. And we started with a batch of people. So back then it was one-on-one with me and Anvar. Now it's batch of people. We have multiple people and I was teaching the mobile track, and Ozrumand is teaching the backend track. Yeah. Currently it's going in progress. And again, we had a similar success case where we started in August, and one of our candidates, he got an offer from DoorDash by January. So it's like September, October, November, December, January, 5 months since we started. And I have one of our engineers, one of our candidates recently interviewed at Google, and one of them is currently interviewing at a lot of companies like DoorDash, Airbnb, Apple, and I think PayPal. Yeah.
We're hiring people, and as we very young, we tried not to hire a lot of people from the beginning. My goal is to close first 50 customers myself as a founder. Then we can add more sales reps who will start closing other customers. And on the customer support side also, we are doing customer support. It's like a 24/7 because we are on West, like Pacific time zone, and our customers work on Eastern time zone. So actually workday starts for us like from 5 a.m. Pacific time zone because markets open at 8 a.m. and they start sending all like issues related with product from 5 a.m. Pacific time. Yeah, and at the evening time we have like stand-up calls with our development team in Uzbekistan. So we have to explain them all the issues which we got during the day, and we have to plan next software features and requirements. And so we end the day at 12. So it's like, and when Saturday comes, like our weekends, like we say, thanks God it's Saturday. Yeah, we have like 1 or 2 days to have a rest. But during Saturday and Sunday we work it as well, but we have less like customer calls, like less like tickets from the customer side, and we spend weekends to think more strategically, like where we want to go, where we are, like what issues we had during the week, and what are like our insights from the learnings which we had during the last week.
Yet, the siren call of Silicon Valley's giants is powerful. For many, the goal was always to test their mettle at the world's most influential tech companies. Getting into big tech is one thing. Thriving there is another. The real journey is one of constant growth, climbing the ladder, expanding skills, and redefining what they're capable of.
My first, I would say, real experience was with the tech industry, right? It was when I first got a job with Amazon, right? The reason why I got a job with Amazon is because I did have a supply chain background. I think the #1 company up till today is Amazon when it comes to supply chain, right? Everything is about logistics, transportation, shipping, and packing, and everything like that. And at that time, I always had that. It was a dream of mine to get a job there so I could get experience from the people working there, right? So I could be at the forefront of what's happening in the world. So, and that job exposed me to a lot of technical things. So I had 2 job titles within there, and as I started to dig more into that field, I've learned that I want to deep dive into the technical space as well. One of the job required me to do SQL, right, or build dashboards. So I self-taught myself all of this, SQL and using the Tableau, like the data analytics tool for visualization, within a 2 months time frame.
Internship from United Nations first, and then I got a job in a fintech called Global Payments. From then on, I was a senior data analyst there, and the recruiter reached out to me. It was actually during like right before COVID. It was a very interesting choice.
My name is Nader Turdiyev. I am a senior solutions architect at Amazon Web Services. I am 45 years old. I am from a small town called Turakurgan in Namangan region. Right now, I'm working in Amazon Web Services as senior solutions architect. This is in late 80s, early 90s. We did not have access to computers or internet, cellular phones. It was simpler times. The main source of media was radio and TV. One day, I vividly remember they brought computers to school. It was very simple computer in modern standards, but although we had limited access to it, the first time I start using it and start reading the books on information technology, I was mesmerized by it in terms of the possibilities that you could achieve, giving some instructions to a computer, whatever that might be, from programming games or doing some processing, solving math problems, and so on. I was really impressed by the possibilities, and this is where I began pursuing IT. I used to read books, even though it was not part of our curriculum at school. I used to borrow books from library, whatever I can get on IT. There were not many choices, but I used to occasionally find books on programming languages such as Pascal or BASIC, and that's how my interest in IT began. One thing that's interesting in my career and education is that I did not study IT at the university. Because my grandfathers, both sides, were economics professors, I was infused with the idea that I should pursue this field. So growing up in childhood, I thought I was going to be in this field. So of course, I used to focus on these. For that reason, I entered the University of World Economy and Diplomacy in Tashkent, International Economic Affairs Department. After that, I came to the United States. This is early 2000 to pursue a degree in business management. So as you can see, it's a bit unorthodox. I did not study IT, but I still had that passion from my early childhood for IT. But due to different circumstances, I pursued economics and then business. Interestingly, I studied business in the United States in Silicon Valley, in San Jose State University. As you might imagine, many of the professors were from the industry. There's a large collection of startups and other types of IT enterprises in this area. They increased my interest even further. But the good thing is I studied from the business perspective at the time. And after graduating, I moved to Asia, specifically to Taiwan, where I started working in IT companies, in startups. They were specializing in IoT, Internet of Things. We produced many types of devices, such as medical devices, automated teller machines, and other types of applied computing devices. After several years working in the field, I learned and accumulated a lot of knowledge, and I slowly shifted from business roles to technical roles, starting from technical support engineer and then became software engineer, later on became software development manager, and finally moved to solution architecture positions, which I'm doing right now. Finally, in 2020, I came back to United States, to Silicon Valley to pursue master's degree in computer science. As you know, Amazon Web Services is a cloud division of Amazon. I specifically work in the startups division. So my role is a customer-facing role. I help startups customers in North America and help them build innovative solutions in the cloud. And I help them make sure that it meets their business goals with the criteria that are important. For example, cost optimization, performance, security, scalability, environmental sustainability. There are many criteria that they have in terms of business goals for their organizations. So I help them achieve using this cloud framework.
I worked for Amazon for around a year and a half. And then this was the time when I moved to Seattle. I think Seattle, I call this is the second Silicon Valley after California, because another big tech giants are located there. Amazon is headquartered there, Microsoft is there, T-Mobile, right? And other big tech companies are also there. So, and at that time, I never even assumed that I'll go into tech, right? But I feel one thing that really struck to me is the environment or the culture of the tech industry. It's very dynamic, it's very innovative, right? It's a lot of, I would say, flexibility and freedom is giving and empowerment is giving to you. My manager at my next company that I worked would always say to me, I would like to empower you, Orzu, to go and create products, build solutions, right? If you have a problem, come to me with a solution and let's see how can we implement. We have the technical resources to do that, right? So that mindset will always help me to think 2 steps ahead. And that's why the reason that I wanted to continue building my career in the tech industry. And second company that I moved from Amazon was Microsoft. So it was based in Seattle. I don't think I would ever work there if I didn't move to Seattle. So I think the cards played that way, right? And Microsoft recruited me. So they actually needed a guy who had the supply chain experience, but they were hiring someone to their supply chain engineer organization. So if you think about this tech companies, there's Amazon, okay, you can understand its supply chain. When you think about Microsoft or even Meta or Google, right? Like this, the question that comes in, what kind of supply chain do you guys do? But there's a lot of supply chain involved into running the business, right? Making sure the data centers that help run all of these platforms are stable and operable, right? So those are the biggest things that are being grown right now in the tech industry. And I think I happened to be at the right time, at the right moment. And my team at Microsoft was responsible for building software products for the business operations teams that run the product management for Xboxes, Surface laptops, the HoloLens, the VRs, and things like that. So that role gave me an opportunity to learn more about the product management and data analytics, like really go in deep in those two things with the foundation of supply chain.
I actually did not apply for job at Microsoft because my dream company was Google and Apple, and I don't know why. I was just because I would say I not growing up, but when I was living in Bay Area, I always saw Google engineers and Apple engineers. I went to their offices and I saw how they're working. I guess that was the big influence on me to have this dream to go and work for those companies. But for Microsoft, so at my school we have a program, like a recruiting program. There's a recruiter, so he will gather all the senior year students' resumes and they will send to the companies. And my resume was sent to Microsoft, and they saw my resume, they saw that how I was a good fit, and they gave me the first round interview. It was a phone interview. During the phone interview, they don't ask you a lot of technical questions. Mainly they try to get to know you as a person, and they might ask some very small part of your resume. Once you pass the phone interview, they will give you the final round, which is 4 rounds. Each of them is 1 hour.
At Microsoft, the environment was different. People are smart. You immediately notice that you are working with one of the best, smartest people in the tech area. People are kind, and everything is provided for developer to work and produce better results. I joined a customer experience team at Microsoft in a data team. So I was supporting customer experience engineers with data needs as a data analyst. Yeah, another thing that I noticed joining at Microsoft was that the teams were diverse. You could see multiple people with different backgrounds. So when I joined, I was like another person. I was the first person from Uzbekistan, from maybe Central Asia. And other teammates were completely from different areas like Brazil, Lebanon, India, so Ireland, all over the world. It was so interesting to see the dynamics in our team.
For the first job, when I applied to Samsung, the recruiter reached out to me from LinkedIn. We talked about this job which they had at the time. The recruiter told me I'm the good fit for this position. And she said to try myself for this position, and I said yeah, let's try. And after that we started the interview processing.
You're looking for a job in America. I said yeah. I said okay, send me a resume, and I sent him my resume. I said okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put your resume in our internal system, and then somebody from our company will reach out to you if they consider it's a good match. I said, yeah, sure. So I gave him my resume, and again, I didn't think it will lead to anything. I was like, yeah, sure, like just send the resume. Maybe they will chat, maybe not. 2 days later, I'm getting a message from the recruiter. That was, by the way, that was EPAM. So Olja Steligan was working at EPAM back then. Yeah. And I got a message from an EPAM recruiter saying like, hey Darkhonbek, we received your resume. We think you have a good skill set. Let's have a call. I'm like, whoa. So I was getting 0 calls, 0 invites, 0 messages from recruiters. And now, like, I applied using referral and I got it back, like somebody got back to me immediately. I was like, wow, mind blowing.
When it was my final year, I got an offer from Amazon already. But then I was like, still, yeah, let me try some other companies. So I applied like big tech companies, went to the interviews. I applied for Google too. I went to several rounds with Google, no response from them. A month to no response. Like I already accepted the offer from Amazon. They were expecting me to come, like they were relying on me. Suddenly, Google responds and say, congratulations, we offer you a position. So the 2 months they were like looking position for me. Where? And the position was like in New York, because they thought like, oh, I'm from New York, so I would prefer New York. But I always wanted to come to Silicon Valley and to be here, to live here. And Amazon was like offering me the position. So it was a very difficult choice between Google and Amazon. And I talked to my parents, I talked to like people. And since I already promised Amazon I'm coming back, I chose to come back here.
I work in Instagram as a machine learning engineer, and we working towards recommendation models. If you're a heavy user of Instagram, you obviously know that we have like different products, right, within Instagram. We call them products. It's reels, feeds, stories, right, threads. So all of those contents have to be recommended, right, in some specific order. And behind that recommendations, there are some algorithms, some models that are responsible for like ordering that content. Like the first is like very most relevant, the second is less relevant, next to relevance, and etc. So we are responsible for developing those models and for supporting that models in Instagram.
At Google, I work in cloud supply chain and operations organization. So we're primarily responsible for maintaining the data center network to make sure everything that Google is building from the product standpoint is operable, right? So the Google engine search, right? The Gemini AI that they're using. So what other things? The YouTube, right? So everything is built. When we say cloud, there's actually no cloud, right? Those are the supercomputers that are located within data centers, right? And knowing that Google has the humongous footprint in the world, there are data centers that store all the equipment. So my team, I would say organization, is responsible for maintaining and building and expanding them.
So I think Meta, it was COVID. At COVID, lots of tech companies were hiring aggressively. And I remember I got a message from a recruiter from Meta saying, hey, do you want to interview with us? Because we are interested in your background. I think it's a separate job of recruiters in America. Like even within companies, they're hunting for talent all the time. And I got an email and I said, why not? Because basically I had always the thought in my mind that I want to work in some FANG type companies like Facebook, Google, or Apple. And that was my chance. So I replied to that email saying yes, but I need to prepare, because after 2 years of working in JP Morgan, you kind of lose the skills of, like, again, prepping for the questions that are going to be asked during the interview. And I know that the interview at Meta and FANG type companies are pretty hard. It's very selective. So I just told them that why not we just talk like in a month. It's going to be first round, and that's the start. And the whole process looks like, first is a phone interview. Over the phone, you talk with HR, you sort of tell you about your background, you go over resume, HR asks you questions like about some projects that you have at JP Morgan, and they're trying to estimate whether you are pretty relevant to the job or not. So it's just, conversational, casual based interview. After that, there is a first technical round, again over the phone, but with some specific platform where the questions are asked and you have to answer the question, which is technical in nature. So you have to code, you have to provide the answers, you have to test it. You sort of show, you have to prove that you know how to program, right, in any language that you pick. And if you're passing that, then the last round is called here in America on-site. Basically, people call you in the office. Since it was COVID, all on-sites were virtual. So it's you allocate the whole day. It's 6 interviews total. First 2 rounds, again, technical. You have to code pretty much the same, pretty much similar how you were doing that over phone. The next 2 rounds are related to specific area, which is machine learning. It could be like some designing some system, right? The question could be absolutely vague, and they're intentionally trying to find how you're going to solve that vague problem. For example, my question was how we're going to recommend the friends on Facebook. Let's hear your ideas, and provide us some technical solution behind that. And last 2 rounds, so 6 rounds total, right? And it's happening at the same day. Last 2 rounds is with the managers, about leadership, about cultural conversation, more trying to get to know you closer. That's the whole sort of pipeline of the interviews.
At Amazon, I work as a lead software engineer on FireOS. So what I do is, people ask, do you do front end or back end? My answer is everything. So whatever comes, I do it. So it's not one single project. It's always new things coming up. And that's one of the reasons why I'm still here. I still like it here, because every year I'm working on different projects. So currently, I cannot disclose what exactly I'm working on, but I'm working on AI things. So there's a big AI thing in the world going on, in case you didn't know. And what I'm working is like bringing those AI tools into application level so the users can use it. One example is like last year, I was like part of the building the AI image generation from Amazon. So now it's like public and millions of people are using it. We are right now at the Amazon campus in Sunnyvale. So this is not the headquarters, because the headquarters in Seattle, but this is a headquarters for Amazon devices. So people misunderstand about Amazon is also, it's gigantic. So it's like 15 companies in one. So like, there's different organizations, and each organization like operates like a separate company. So in my case, I work at the Amazon devices, which builds like Fire tablets, Kindle devices, Fire TVs, Alexa devices, all those like here. And it operates like as a different company. So yeah, we are here at the headquarters of Amazon devices organization.
I received an offer and I worked at EPAM Systems. I worked for a US company. It was one of the largest human resource management systems. Just for you to understand, one of their clients may have like 100,000 of clients, like employees whom we need to whose schedule we need to manage and everything else, payments and everything else. So yeah, it was pretty big product. I learned how to work with cloud, with different teams, and everything was in English, right? It was different, it was challenging, but yet it was fun, it was interesting.
At Meta, we have a specific culture. Well, one of the very famous features of Facebook and Meta, right? At that time, actually, it was called Facebook. We have Bootcamp. So when you are accepted at Meta, you are put onto a 2-month program where you just learn what internal tools are people using there. You kind of meet people and you try to choose the team who you want to work with. That's a boot camp. It's like a kind of a mini school inside the company. So you interview the managers of different teams, because now you need to select your team who you want to work with. That's a boot camp. That was pretty cool time, and I think it's a very interesting, because I don't think any other companies has a similar experience. So I remember it was pretty hard in the beginning as well, because it's absolutely new, and now I'm in entirely IT sector, and I'm entirely like tech company, like a first tech company, because JP Morgan is, of course, its objective is it's a financial company, right? And tech is a bit obsolete compared to Google or Amazon or Facebook.
But a career is more than just titles and technical skills. It's about building a life, balancing the intense demands of a tech career with the desire for a fulfilling life outside of work became the next great challenge.
Here, it's not good for you to know 10 things and be average. It's better to know 2 or 3 things and be really good at it. This is where you increase the value and make yourself more desired or needed by any company.
So I joined the company as a sales analyst, I remember, and then I moved up to senior data analyst by the time I left for Amazon. We were doing a lot of building dashboards, building products. At that time, my specific field of interest was sales and marketing. So that's what I did. I focused on the sales and marketing. I worked directly with a lot of very interesting people, including VP and the presidents of the company, building reporting tools for them. And then I think that's where I actually learned how impactful my work can be, and that's where I learned the skills. I started coding fast, I started managing people, and I think by the time I got to Amazon, that experience really, really helped to get a job there, because for me, the interview process for Amazon was not very hard. I really I kind of passed it with a very small preparation there. When you join Amazon on different levels, you always have a choice whether to be an IC or you have an aspirations to be a manager. So managers, they manage teams, they manage different projects, and their skill set looks a little bit different because they have to also coach their people that report to them. For me, it's a little bit different. I'm an IC, which is individual contributor. I manage projects and then I have people who contribute to those projects. I joined as a BI engineer too. So if speaking by like Amazon terminology, we speak in levels here. So I joined as an L5. Currently I'm in L6. So the L6 is obviously like higher, a more senior position to L5. Yeah, and I think the interesting thing is that the moving up the career in Amazon, like from L4 to L5 to L6 is pretty, I think, straightforward. Like you just need to do a good job, and even to L7. But then as you move up higher in your career, the moving levels gets really harder. So you need to stay in your position for a long time. It's not that easy to switch. There should be a right scope for that as well. So unless there's a right scope, I've seen that people would get stuck in their roles and positions for a long time. As far as I know, there's either 12 or 13 levels in Amazon, and I think the last level is owned by the CEO. And then the like L11s, L10. So those are usually like people with those positions, like they stay in the company for a long time. So they joined the company a while ago.
One thing I will tell you, and one of the managers at Microsoft told me, that you do hire people for attitude and train for the skill. Right? Because ultimately, any technical skill set, of course, if it's not something super complicated, it can be taught. It can be learned with the job, right? You make mistakes, but you will learn, right? What you cannot teach people at this, I think, period of life is more about the attitude or the mindset they have, that, right? This is also something that I always try to pay attention to, be more personable, right? Not feeling like I'm being a robot and just doing my job and closing my laptop. Like trying to put a little bit of my soul into the things that I do and making sure the quality of my job is at a good level. So because any job that I do or any project that I work on, it somehow reflects me, right? And I really want to build that reputation that I'm someone who's credible and the person who is good at what they're doing. Of course, I may not be good right away. It takes time to learn and get there, right? But that, I think, just from the skill set perspective, it's me asking questions, right? Here in culture in general in America, they say there are no dumb questions. You can ask as many questions as you want. And the more questions you ask, the more it shows the managers, the recruiters that you're interested and you're willing to learn. If you have that open mindset, trying to say, hey, I want to learn something, help me get there, people are there to hold your hand and walk the path with you. Something that I really loved about this American culture and just from the work perspective as well. Any companies I would go to.
I remember I led a critical project to migrate old servers to AWS, which was a security risk for the company. So the main challenge was everything should be deployed using infrastructure as code to make it reliable and scalable and to make sure and secure. I built infrastructure from ground up using and deploying infrastructure as a code and coordinate the migration with the teams that are involved in using that service. At the end, I deployed the service. I successfully migrated the service to AWS, and management was very happy. And this is where I got my first excellence award for completing this critical project.
While I was at Microsoft, COVID hit us. Even before the COVID, I had a chance to work from home on some days. It wasn't a requirement to come to an office. After the COVID, I was working remotely full-time as everyone else. And then I realized in America, there are other places that I can live and enjoy. And also to mention that Seattle is one of the expensive cities in America. So I said, if I can work from anywhere, why don't I live in a place that I want to live? I had a couple of options. I evaluated them, looking at in the tech environment, the demand for jobs and the nature, suitability for family life. And I chose Pennsylvania. One of them was North Carolina, Raleigh. Another one was Washington, D.C. area, specifically North Virginia. Other ones were San Francisco and closer to New York.
That balance defines a new lifestyle. It's about more than just a salary. It's about crafting an identity in a new country.
I would say overall, people are nice and kind to each other.
They will value, they will appreciate your help, They will be really nice with you if you will do everything on time and contribute to the development of their product.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Elbek. I'm from Andijan, Uzbekistan. I'm a software engineer. I work with engineering teams and a couple of other teams to provide back-end engineering, DevOps, and partnership support. So our company is remote first. They don't care where you work from or what you do. As long as you do the job, it's great. So mostly, since I moved to US, I work hybrid. I come to the office in New York a couple of times a week, but mostly I work from home because I have a 1-year-old daughter.
In building their new lives, they didn't forget their roots. A strong community began to form a diaspora, connected by a shared heritage and a shared ambition to lift each other up.
Currently, the place we're sitting is called Silkroad Innovation Hub. Silkroad Innovation Hub is a hub and a platform for which we created about 2 years ago with my co-founder, Asad Abdullah, who is also a Stanford grad. He went to Stanford Business School. We met there, so we decided to create such place and a business and to work on this challenge. After Stanford Law School, I went to do lots of different things. I went to work as a lawyer for a boutique law firm which concentrated on helping Central and Eastern Europe founders in their fundraising and from the United States and in their incorporation and other paperwork when they are coming to the United States. So I worked there and I went to work on a VC firm, one of the oldest VC firms in the Valley, which is called Draper Associates. It's founded, like the Draper family name is actually involved with the VC. Tim Draper's grandfather started this thing of investing into technology companies, and Tim Draper became this legendary VC who invested early in Elon Musk's companies, Tesla, SpaceX, and a bunch of other companies in Silicon Valley. So I worked there, and at a certain point, my co-founder Asad, we knew each other for a while because there's a small but tight Central Asian community in Silicon Valley. Everyone knows each other, and we were discussing of the value of communities, that like the organizations and companies, like think about the PayPal, the first 40 people or 50 people who worked at PayPal or who founded PayPal, they're all now billionaires. Like there's a community for like ex-Google employees or the people. So we came up with an idea of like startup founders from our region should have access to the same resources, to the same community as anyone living and working here as we do as a part of a Stanford community. So we decided to name it Silkroad because there's a uniting factor that the Silk Road used to pass, and now we thought it's time for a digital Silk Road. It's ideas, opinions to pass, and we serve as a bridge between Central Eurasia, the larger region, and Silicon Valley. So we started working on that 2 years ago. This is actually the first office of Robinhood, the unicorn company, I think about over $30 billion valuation. It's also the first office of PerVC, one of the most successful early stage VCs in Silicon Valley. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, the inventor, the company who's behind the QR code, also worked here in this office. So the office, old, kind of smelly a little bit, but it has a history. It has a nice history, and we wanted it to be located right next to Stanford, right next to Sand Hill Road, where all the venture capital firms are located. So we chose the central location, even though it's expensive, like the lease and other things in the office. But yes, we started 2 years ago, and now it's a very fast-growing community of founders, over 1,000 founders in our network. Last year, we did the largest technology conference in Silicon Valley about our region, about our countries. We presented Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, all those countries, and what they're capable of, what their technology capabilities are, what their younger generation are capable of. We presented 100 startups, we brought in 100 startups from the region and showcased them there. Just kind of in order to put our mark that we exist, we're here, there's a talent from the region, and give a note to VC investors that like, hey, we're coming, get your checks ready to invest into our startups. So this has been, I think, one of the success stories in my career, looking back, because now, as I said, I was proud of certain projects back at home. I think this one is also one of my proudest projects, because from here I can contribute directly to the benefit of my country, Uzbekistan. So we support and we partner with different organizations back at home. IT Park is our partner from Uzbekistan. We work very closely. Since the last 2 years, we've been working. We brought, together with IT Park and Astana Hub and other organizations, we brought in 2023, we brought 14 startups to TechCrunch Disrupt, one of the largest technology conferences in Silicon Valley in the world. And last year we brought in 24, 25 startups to present at the premier technology conference in the world, TechCrunch Disrupt. And in October last year, we organized our own conference, which we held in the Yerba Bueno Center for the Arts, the same auditorium where Steve Jobs presented iPod and iPad. So it's a historic location, and we kind of put our mark there that with such an historic event. So we're hoping to organize more of these conferences to kind of give an idea of who we are, to present our startups, to organize a platform, an event where startups and investors can meet each other, and our founders can have a direct access to Silicon Valley that feels like home.
Because in business, online calls is one thing, but people in person, the relationship matters. And when you have a good relationship with your partners or with customers, it makes big difference. So, and challenge for Uzbek founders to build international companies. I have a Telegram channel. I am very active on social media as well. People ask, can I build company to US market being in Uzbekistan? Yes, you can build from anywhere if you're building some B2C product, if you are building apps or small services which will not require any integration with US businesses. But if you are building something in a B2B segment and you have to interact with US corporations, then being in Uzbekistan, it's very hard, because in every call people ask from us, oh, hey, where are you based? When we say we're on the West Coast, we're in Palo Alto, they are okay, I'm here. So we, almost on 90% of the calls, we exchange with location information, where are you based? I'm based here. What's the weather there? So and if you're based in Uzbekistan, it's hard to sell. For them, any country out of US is out of US. It's hard for them to accept any country out of US. For them, if you are in US, they can do business with you. I'm talking about logistics. I'm not, maybe it's different when you go to the other segments.
With experience comes wisdom, and this new generation is eager to share the hard-earned lessons from their journey, creating a roadmap for those who wish to follow.
Everybody's path is different, but there are common things that a person has to do. I would say still degree is important. Earn your skill. Go and get your degree. Another thing is practicing. Right now, what I see, different people younger than me reaching out to me and asking, hey, can you help me figure out what's the best roadmap for me, right? Or should I do my lead coding every day? Or what should I do?
Everywhere in America is about interview here. If you want to be selected here, it's all about interview. For universities, for companies, for internships, for scholarships. Of course, there has to be some filters, and there was interviews for JP Morgan as well. Study hard, study a lot. Obviously, know what to study. I did some bit of work in terms of understanding what kind of people work in JP Morgan or like in banks, because I knew that banks are hiring lots of physicists. Banks are hiring lots of mathematicians and coders. So first question to ask is, what do they ask, right? What do they need? What skills do they need? And fortunately, to my Moscow university, I had lots of friends from Moscow University who were working in bank. So I consulted with them, like I talked to them, and they gave me like lots of advices on how to prepare. And yeah, that also like took me lots of time to prepare, and lots of rejections. It was not like from the first time. I applied for, I can say like more than maybe 20 banks, and only one just got accepted.
I started preparing. I found out some online websites where you can see a list of questions and you can answer them and see if they are correct or not. Similar to LeetCode, but it's for data science. The website was called Stratascratch, stratascratch.com. It has data science questions related to SQL, Python, machine learning, and statistics.
After graduation, I had a specific goal of just working for Amazon Web Services, and specifically in the startups division. So I had a very specific goal based on my customer demand and my own interest to broaden my consulting company that I came from, right? So at the end of the semester, after I finished my classes, I aggressively started pursuing jobs in this field. And unlike many students who apply for hundreds or even thousands of jobs, I wanted to just focus on one role, right? And for that, I methodically started looking at the job description and making sure that I qualify for every single criteria that they have. And usually most job applications or job descriptions have two types of qualifications: basic qualifications and preferred qualifications. Basic qualifications gets their interest to maybe to talk to you, but if you have the preferred qualifications, it's really good. It means that you're maybe potentially an ideal candidate, right? So I started preparing for an interview even before I start applying for this job because I wanted this one. So I spent about 3-4 months preparing for an interview. So I wanted to research, what does an interview look like in Amazon? What kind of questions they ask? What are the criteria and so on? And once I identified what technical skills I already have, plus I need to acquire to succeed, I spent about 3-4 months preparing just for one job.
What I'm trying to tell to them is so the one thing that I noted is they are using ChatGPT to solve the questions, to explain the questions. But the important thing in learning on your path is practicing. But when just person tells you practicing, it's pretty vague. You don't get anything from the word practicing. Practicing means struggling. So let's say you are taking a problem and trying to solve it. It's not just about putting the description into the chat and trying to read the explanation from the ChatGPT. You won't get it. You won't get it. You have to just put the ChatGPT aside. Just try, sit there. If it's 8 hours you need to solve this question or problem, yeah, sit there for 8 hours. Just put the goal to solve this problem today. Let's put it like that. And just try to solve it any ways possible without looking into the solution. So you will struggle, you will have iterations, you will have like kind of a research thing. What I'm trying to say is you will try one thing, it fails, you learn why it fails, and you figure out after that, like, hey, next time I will do this differently. And this is called iteration. So you need those iterations, you need that struggle, and you need to form these connections in your brain through struggling. So that's the way you learn. Otherwise, just by reading the explanation, it won't give you, maybe just in short term, for 1 hour, you will memorize this and let's say, think that you understand it. It's not, you won't understand it at all. So yeah, another
Another good thing, I would say, I don't remember who told this, but in order to understand a topic or something, or to understand that you understood this topic, you have to explain it to a 10 years old person. So in that way, you will realize that, hey, I deeply understood this thing or not. If you didn't, then iterate again. Yeah.
I come to Uzbekistan pretty often and pretty regular, usually like once or twice a year. I visit my parents there, and I have many friends in Uzbekistan who work in IT sphere. And also like lots of my friends from Moscow, they moved to Tashkent and they're working at some, for example, company Uzum, they work there as a machine learning engineers. And apparently when I'm in Tashkent, I meet with them and I ask, how is it now? How is the market looking? Is it better or not? And I think from this feedback, I see there are a bunch of improvements in this direction. I see that there are like lots of organizations and the whole ecosystem is getting built, like IT park in Uzbekistan, right? Or like the first unicorn in Uzbekistan. I was pretty proud of that. We finally have unicorn, which is I can say typical IT company, like a typical by US standards, but of course it's like in Uzbekistan, it's a very big news. And yes, it's great. So I think it's getting into that, and we have lots of talents. We have and we have a younger generation. I think Uzbekistan is the country with lots of young people. So in terms of talent, resources, I think we have enough. And it's all about, I think, desire, motivation, and never stop learning, never stop exploring as well.
My advice to young people in Uzbekistan who wants to start a career in IT, be curious and persistent. So that's the most important. IT is not a rocket science. So it's doable. If you have interest in IT, you will be able to achieve. And there are tons of materials online, and you can even study for free. Second, English is very important. So because a lot of materials online is based on English. So if you know English, the world is open for you. So there are like unlimited information base and located on internet, on YouTube, and there are a lot of free courses available online. So only thing is required from you is persistence.
So we work for the results. The way our business model works is we do not charge money. We only charge if you get a job. So if you don't get a job, you don't owe us anything. So we pre-select, like we have very tough selection process in the beginning, and then you pay a program fee in the beginning. But the program fee, it basically covers the basic software we use, and we don't make money out of it. And it's also like commitment check for us, commitment filter. It filters out like serious people who really want this program, who understand the value. And after we give a people trial period. If they like it, they want to continue with us, they sign an agreement contract with us saying that, hey, we're gonna prepare you, and then after you get a job, like you're gonna pay us 10% of the base salary. So the payment is 10% of the base salary for 2 years. But the stocks bonus, relocation bonus, performance bonus, sign-on bonus, all of it we don't touch. Only the base salary, yeah. And if you get an offer. And then if you look at it, the math is actually like, it's a win-win situation, because one, you get a job much faster. So like if you don't get a job, you don't lose anything, because you don't pay us. So my goal is aligned with my client's goal, to get them a job, number one. Number two, the more they get paid, the more I get paid. So again, our goals are aligned. My goal is to get them high-paying job, right? And then the third, they get job faster through us. Again, like if you prepare, like as I told you, like you go to the gym, you can train by yourself, you have certain goal, you can do it by yourself, do your research, watch YouTube videos, read books. It just takes a lot of time. You can do it, but it takes longer. But some people prefer a shortcut. They're like, okay, I'm gonna hire a coach and they can help me meet my goal. So we're like a fast track. So which means if you prepare by yourself, you can get an offer in 12 months. With us, let's say you can get an offer like in 6 months, for example. So which means 6 months shorter, which means your earning potential during these 6 months will be much higher. So during the 6 months, you're already earning the high salary. That's number one. So you're earning more money much sooner. Number two is we help you negotiate at the end. And through negotiations, roughly 5 to 10% increase of your total compensation, we basically pay out like they cover the whole program. So the negotiation we help you to do at the end, it's basically that thing, that number basically covers the program. So you lose nothing. So again, it's like win-win.
In big companies, I would say it's more challenging, but the good news is they have a lot of learning resources and they're very methodical about training you. For example, in Amazon, when you join for the first 3 months or 6 months, depending on your level, they give you only learning tasks. They did not give you tasks to, for example, my role is customer facing. For the first 3 months, they trained me before I can talk to the customer. So they take their time to make sure that you're successful in this environment, and they provide you with a lot of learning resources and internal programs to make sure that they will set you up for success. And this is very different from startups, because when you join, they start asking you to do your work from day one, you know? So this is kind of a very big difference, I would say, between startups and working in a big enterprise with well-established protocols for onboarding new employees.
So America is built on people who built extra things like businesses. So if everyone wanted to just work regular jobs, there wouldn't be Amazon, there wouldn't be like Facebook. So it was built on like people who wanted to build something different. So universities also look at those things. So one thing I recommend is just like on your free time, if you're really interested in what are you doing, just build some extra projects which you're excited about. It's always good to put on your resume. It's always good for your university application, and everywhere it's a good thing. So that's one thing I think, like as a student in Uzbekistan, you should focus on. Other recommendations, I would say, just like find out what you truly like. Like in my case, I did those things like not only because of I wanted it, but I was excited about it. Like as I said, I used to skip the lunch. I used to skip like sleep, like to build those things. Like something new comes up, like I used to read the articles about it. I'm like, oh my God, Apple just released this new product. And I was like, so excited. So if you find something really excited about it, if you're passionate about it, there would be no problem to get to like average student from Uzbekistan to go to America and then succeed.
And also, as I said, being smart about it. Not everything out there is relevant to you or beneficial. So knowing what to learn. For that, talking to people who are successful in their careers or who knows about this area is important. So being in talks with people, networking is very important. So that you're not learning some obsolete technical language, but you know what to learn and where to put your focus and energy.
Study more, be consistent, to at least spend 2 or 3 hours a day to self-development, to develop personal skills, to develop the technical and professional related skills. That's the main part. Not to be shy. Ask the question, communicate with people, make more friends. Yeah, and be very nice with your family. First of all, to come to work in abroad, to work in foreign countries, you need to have really good skills in your job. It's not only related to the programming. It's not only related to the IT. It might be business. It may be finance. So first of all is the skills. If you have really good skills, anybody will hire you, anybody will offer you a job. That's the first thing. The second thing is the language. If you want to go to abroad, you must have to know English language in most cases. If you're not going, of course, to the Asian countries such as China, Japan, Korea, but most of the European countries, America and Canada, so English should be proficient. So develop your English skills, work on yourself, and It will be better, it will be plus if you learn about the culture of the country where you are going beforehand. Just do some research, see what kind of people, what they like, what's their culture, what kind of food they have, and it might be help you to adapt more easily in the country you are going. Only study. I mean, it's the key to your success.
And I think like the world is moving so fast now, like what didn't exist yesterday might be the next big opportunity tomorrow. Just think about it, like a few years ago, like no one was talking about AI, but now it's changing everything. Like the way we live, the way we work, and even think. And that kind of transformation like used to take like decades, but now it happens like in months. So no need to wait for the perfect like opportunity, perfect path to appear. Just go do things like you're unsure about it. Just always keep learning and chase the knowledge like it's oxygen. And always like learn even if you're unsure about it. And never stop your fear of like not being good enough, just stop you from trying, from dreaming big, and from even like failing, because even like a wrong path could teach more than any textbook ever could. And always like surround yourself with really good people, like-minded people who also dream big, who are gonna just inspire, who are gonna just push you and motivate and help you get those crazy dreams. And even like in my journey, like people really helped me a lot. Like I have grown the most when I've been around the people who were dreaming big, and we helped each other. We motivated each other. And without these people, without these mentors, I wouldn't have been able to get into a top school or like get into investment banking. And these people really helps me. So even if you are unsure about the future, anyways, like take the first step. Even if it's scary, even if it's small, just do it. And look at me, like if a small girl from Navai, from Karmana could do it, I believe our young people also can do it.